Okay, so I want to see a show of hands. How many of you eat food? All right, good. Yeah, okay, great. So if you eat food from a supermarket, most of the foods you eat are the product of thousands of years of hard work by your ancestors. I'm referring to the process of domestication. So a tomato that you might grow in your garden has a wild ancestor, and it looks quite different from the tomatoes you would grow today. It has very small fruits, and the plant itself grows almost like a vine. In fact, it'll keep growing until the first frost kills it. Over generations, our ancestors saw these plants and continually improved them to make bigger fruits, more uniform flowering time, and more compact plant stature so that we can grow them in fields. We know a lot of the genes that are selected for during this process, even though our ancestors didn't. Our lab studies domestication, and to do so, we use a wild relative of the tomatillo, Physalis prenosa, which is more commonly known as the ground cherry. Now, like the ancestors of tomatoes, this is very much a wild crop, and it has some really bad attributes for growing on a large scale. We're attempting to kind of cheat and skip thousands of years of domestication by using genome editing technology to modify the genes that our ancestors modified thousands of years ago. So we've produced ground cherry plants that have targeted genes that control flowering time and plant growth habit to make plants that grow in a more compact growth habit and that flower 75% more than their unedited counterparts. We've also targeted a gene that controls fruit size and increased, by editing one gene, 20% of the fruit weight in these plants. Now, our next goals are to combine these traits into one plant and also include other traits that affect, for example, nutritional content of the berries themselves. So, in doing so, we are skipping thousands of years and the hard work that our ancestors took to breed these crops that we know and love today in order to hopefully produce new crops. Thank you.